Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Phrasing with Jay on your broadcast day. I am Jay, and today I have with me Teighlor Chaney. She is an artist. She does animation, and she's also an aspiring voice actor. And I'm really happy that I can have her here today. And I got a reason for having her today. It's not just because I wanted a hot chick on my show, although that probably helps. Hi, Teighlor. What's up, girl?
Hey, Jay. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. It's really nice to have you here. Now, let's fill everybody in a little bit on who you are, because I initially got in contact with you over auditioning for a voiceover role in your upcoming project, Mortician's Assistant. And that's how we first started talking. So I think the first question that I really had for you was, how? How did you get into writing and artwork and, you know, doing drawings, and then leading it to a point to where you really wanted to make, you really wanted to make a comic about it, and then going further into making a voiced over comic, basically a comic dub?
Well, for one, I like to do too much. I be doing too much, as people like to tell me. I've been drawing and writing my whole life. I mean, I know it's kind of cliche, but yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to be a writer. I have 2 bachelor's degrees. I have a bachelor degree in creative writing and one in sequential illustration, which is, you know, comics, storyboarding, that sort of thing. And I'm working towards my master's in creative writing right now. So yeah, I mean, it's just always been a part of my life. Mortician's Assistant came about with a lot of different ideas in mind. I wanted to do a story initially about a coroner and a mortician that fell in love and solved mysteries like Angela Lansbury's Murder, She Wrote style.
Wow.
And that was fine, but it wasn't really my style of writing.
So
and I was like, let's throw in an undead guy.
Wait a minute. Mortician's Assistant started out like that, and now?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to spoil anything, but holy shit, to what I recorded and what I was reading, that is not what it turned into. It drips. It has a drip, and it's not that level of Murder, She Wrote. It's a totally different animal.
It's a different episode. It's a different animal for sure.
It really is. It really is. So writing and doing artwork since an early young age, and I know you said a second ago that it sounds cliche, but I mean, it's really not. It's something that you've had an innate interest in since forever, for eons, basically. And typically, those types of things are what we attach ourselves to in our adult lives. So it makes all the sense in the world. But I mean, I had no idea that you had formal education in illustration and in creative writing. Like, how did that occur?
Well, I'm really bad at making decisions, Jay. I went to college to go into animal science, and I ended up with a creative writing degree. So if that tells you anything about who I am as a person.
Wait a minute. Wait, what? How the fuck? What? Those two, they're probably not even in the same hallway. How the fuck did you get there?
Yeah, I was actually an animal science major, theater minor. And I was in the agricultural building at my original college that I went to. And yeah, no, it just wasn't for me. And I knew pretty early on it wasn't going to be for me. And I don't regret it.
But isn't that a good thing that early on you discovered, okay, I'm in this and this is not what I want to do. And then because of that, because you found out what you didn't want to do, you ended up discovering what you inherently wanted to do, that I think might have been in the back of your mind the entire time.
It definitely was. Growing up, I used to get in trouble in my English classes and stuff because I wanted to write stories rather than, you know, kind of sticking to the grammatically accurate, following the rules of, you know, obviously teachers had to teach us that kind of crap. So like, I should have stuck to it. And you know, it was all good-hearted, good-natured with my teachers. But yeah, I kept writing. I just wrote and wrote and wrote all the time. And I actually had 2 teachers tell me that they thought I should be a writer. And so that helped sort of cement that in to my personality and to my goals. And so even when I was going to be an animal science major, I knew I wanted to write and I knew I wanted to keep creating art. I just didn't know how to go about it.
But I mean, it probably was a very, very good feeling and a good indication of what direction you wanted to go in when you have, teachers telling you, it's like, look, you have the talent to do this. You just need to foster it and you can make something of it.
Oh, yeah, it definitely meant a lot. One of my teachers, Miss Durden, she was a bitch. And she was
Shout out
everybody.
To the bitch, Miss Durden. You did well.
God love her. Sorry, I have a lot of Southern sayings. A little bit of bless your heart there. No, she was tough. She was tough, and nobody liked her, but I liked her because she was serious about what she taught, and she was one of the teachers that pulled me aside and told me I should be a writer, and that meant the world to me. And when we switched schools, she came with us and was one of our teachers at the new school. She kept one of my stories up on her little cork board as an example to the incoming students. So that always made me feel really good.
Oh, but that's a point of pride. That's an accomplishment when you got one of your deals posted up on the little board as an example. Yeah.
I got corkboard status.
You got corkboard status. Corkboard swag. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. I got the accolade.
But I mean, that's important. I mean, look, if you never went into animal science, right? Animal sciences? If you never,
yes, animals.
Right. If you never went into animal sciences and initially tried to pursue that, none of that ever would have happened. So, I mean, there was a reason for it. You had to have gone into it because you wouldn't have discovered what you were meant for. And you're a good writer. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on the project. I mean, I've read the script and I went, this is good. This is good. Delivery is natural. I like how things are established and set up. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, it's a good deal.
To be fair, my master's degree program, this is my thesis. My teacher has kind of beaten it into me to be better. So it's definitely went through a lot of iterations, So it didn't initially sound so good, but you got to keep working on it. You got to keep editing. And I think a lot of people, when they go into writing, they don't realize you're going to spend more time editing it than you're going to be writing.
Oh, that's absolutely the truth. I mean, just when I've done animation pilots and episodes for various types of works, and what I've realized is that it's like 10% idea, like creative flourish of like, oh, I want to do this. And then it's 90% editing. Believe me, like
that's why so many ideas fail,
Oh, sure. But I mean, even if the idea fails, it can open you up to the opportunity to find something new because maybe something you wrote failed, but there were grains or seeds of stuff that you did in that failed project that led you to write a different project that you could find success with. And even if you fail, you're going to learn more from the failure than you would if something just hits and it works. That's what failure's for. It teaches you.
Yeah. I've tried to lately get into a habit of writing out any idea that I have, even if I don't really have a lot of faith in it, I'll write it out. And what it does is it gives me that glimpse into, is this even a project I would want to work on long term? And yeah, so I've incorporated that into my writing practice.
I think that's a really good idea. I mean, specifically because you're writing. I mean, writing is something that you would know better than I. Okay. I primarily just do acting, but I have written. And my experience in writing is the less I do it, and then I got to go sit back down as a co-writer or whatever I get hired onto. If I haven't been writing or doing anything, it's a little harder to start the engine, creatively speaking, to get into the flow of things. So doing it consistently is just repetition and repetition. And then at a certain point, you could probably sit down and I could give you an idea about a duck, a door, and a strip club, and you could write something on it. I don't know why those three. I don't know why all those three came to my mind, but they're just very strange.
Are they like an anthropomorphized duck, or are they like just a duck going to a strip club? Because these are details I need to know.
Okay, so one animal is anthropomorphic and the other one is not.
Okay. So like she's a duck stripper, and then she has a little duck patron that waddles in and comes to see her. Now I'm into it. I got the vision.
There you go. You see? You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Geniusness at work. Writing. Oh, your jelly meat is pulsing. That's incredible. But no. You were talking about how Mortician's Assistant went through a lot of different iterations. I mean, I'm not just talking about drafts.
I can get into it a little bit more.
Yeah, get into this. What was the original concept for Mortician's Assistant? Because I'm curious about this. You told me a little bit about it. I would just like to. I'm totally digging for details here, but I would just like to know a little bit more because I'm curious about it.
So again, it started out as a very simple, kind of sweet idea with a little touch of mystery, and then I knew I wanted to do something darker. I like to write dark fiction. The two things I've had published, they're just little flash fiction pieces, but they're horror. So horror, dark, that's more my realm. And I've been told before I like to write horror comedy, and that doesn't always work. Because my little punchline, they're like, I thought it was supposed to be scary, and now it's funny. Like, that doesn't work for us. And so I do run into that a lot. But I was like, I can do it. I can pull this off. So I got that concept. I went with it, and I started reading other things. Not Tokyo Ghoul, because I didn't read that until recently, but just books like that. I started looking into Revival. I'm trying to remember them. Mm-hmm. These are ones that were assigned to me as well. I can't think. Hold up.
Hold up.
My brain just went blank.
I'm holding. Tokyo Ghoul's cool though. I have read it. I have watched it, some of it, and it's really well done. It's
pretty good. And from that, I do pull the sort of, he can't eat meat, like he can't eat any other kind of food, he has to eat human flesh, because I really like that concept of having that one thing he can eat and that's it.
Yeah, talk about that.
But yeah, anyway,
the refrigerator, that's terrible. He goes, ravioli, can't do that. No, human steak, yeah, there we go. I'm hungry.
There's going to be a scene where he kind of tears the kitchen apart trying to find things he can eat and ultimately is unable to. So I was looking at these other dark stories, and I started going that direction with it. Some app games, different things, that just all these little tiny things started inspiring me from all these different places. It's hard to pinpoint just one or two, but I got to really thinking about it, and I was like, I need to write something that, yes, I want to focus on the mortician aspect of it, but I want to write something that sort of makes us think about death in an abstract way. Because I personally don't deal with death well. So this was my catharsis on that.
Oh, okay. So in writing this, has it assisted you in kind of grappling with the fact that we're all just going to be dead in the dirt one day?
I don't know if it's necessarily helped me personally, because I don't like funerals. I don't like seeing. I mean, no one likes funerals.
I was about to say nobody likes funerals.
No one likes funeral. Unless you're a weirdo.
Unless they're weird. Yeah, that could be. There's one person out there who's going, I love funerals. Yeah.
I love funerals. I go to them all the time. I crash them.
Yeah, you got wedding crashers. You got funeral crashers just popping in the
funeral crashers. Very much a thing.
No, it's not. Is that real? Oh, God.
It is. It is.
No.
Yeah, what? Especially old people. Old people love to crash funerals.
Why would an old person like to crash a funeral?
If they don't know the person. I guess they just don't have anything else to do. I don't know.
I mean.
But, yeah, so.
I get wedding crashers.
I don't like, so like the idea of funerals, I don't like.
That's fucked up. Hold on. You got me fucked up now. I'm going, okay, well, I get why someone want to crash a wedding. No, that's cool. I'm just going, I get why someone would want to crash a wedding. There's food, there's drinks.
Well,
someone can get laid.
There's sometimes food and drinks at funerals.
Oh shit, that's right. Because there's the little after funeral thing. But like,
yep. And sometimes people just like to be around all the emotion. They like to.
Oh, that's weird.
Kind of have that excuse, yeah. And sometimes they go to pick up people, like legitimately. What? Sometimes people will go to them. Yeah, they'll go to pick up people. So, yeah. I've heard a lot of really funny stories in my research.
So grief is the aphrodisiac that they're using here. That's so.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how many times
definitely taking advantage.
I wonder how many times that's worked. I genuinely do now. I'm going.
It has to.
No,
because that's you're sad, and so you meet someone who's nice, and you need
so you smash
to do something with
somebody
your
because
grief.
you're sad and grieving.
I mean, we all handle grief differently.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Some people handle loss with a ha ha. Some people get into other people's pants, and that's you know what? Everybody's different. Everybody's different. This is what makes the world go round. And most likely, possibly, people's Instagram reels and TikTok algorithms look fucking bananas. But so,
oh yes.
So you caught a lot of inspiration from different sources, Tokyo Ghoul and such and so on. And over the time of the evolution of Mortician's Assistant, when did you realize that one, the more gothic and horror and darker aspect was going to be the direction? Because yes, you have a proclivity to write that sort of material, but it didn't have to be that way. You could have made it a horror comedy. You could have made it a straight abstract type of dark comic that wasn't so leaning into horror, because I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a lot of blood and guts in it. There's a lot. It's very violent.
There is. It's going to get more violent. That's kind of my goal. I want some gore. I want that. But I did choose to go that direction because initially the story was based in Georgia. And that's because I'm a moron and didn't realize that we have a train station that goes through Arkansas, because at that point it was very early on in my research. So it was based in Georgia, and you have that sort of Southern Gothic feel in Georgia. And you have a lot of like old plantations and things. Like it just has this vibe. But then I switched it to Arkansas because that's where I'm from.
Of course.
And I realized I could get more material. I can go out and actually take photos for my artists. I can go out and do the field research here, whereas I don't live in Georgia. It's just not something I can do. So I changed it. I changed the direction. We still will have that Southern Gothic feel, but it's going to be less sweet tea and a little bit more stealing carburetors out of cars, because that's kind of the Arkansas versus Georgia vibe when you get into the southern regions. And of course, all places have those sort of neighborhoods. They just seem like they're pretty prevalent here.
Please tell me that you're going to have at least one reference to a meth addict.
Oh yeah, no, there's actually, this is very far off in the future, but I do have a character. I haven't really got a name for him yet, but he gets mistaken as a cryptid or, something paranormal, and he's just a meth addict.
I am in love with that idea. Okay. For anybody who doesn't know, Arkansas, as I've been to Arkansas before. I have nothing against the state or the people there. I think they're cool. They've never treated me in any way, but
it's
kind.
Very pretty.
It's very pretty. However, one darker side of Arkansas that I did discover there's a surprisingly shocking amount of meth users in Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking freaky, man, to where, see, even the native Arkansas person goes, yeah, dude, it's bad. Like, it's frightening. It's bad. Man. It's frightening. And you guys are the home of Walmart, too, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. Grew up shopping there, Wally World.
Wally World. What a callback. I haven't heard anybody say that in years. Oh, my God. I fucking love it. Oh, Walmart. The only place where you could buy your pants and a fucking handgun in the same store. Amazing.
Oh, yeah. And I've done it before. So. I went and I got a fishing rod and a new wardrobe, and then I bought groceries.
I can't, you know what? That is just, that's so American. You are literally a waving American flag right now. That's fucking genius. I love it. So
you can get your hunting license in them. You can go up to the desk and just be like, hey, or not desk, but the checkout line and be like, hey, I want my hunting license, and they'll do it for you.
Get out of here. You get a hunting and fishing license at the
in Walmart.
In Walmart in Arkansas?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I got to go back there. I have to travel back there. Jesus Christ. Just so I can do that. It's like, hey, give me my rights back. Come on.
Come visit.
I would love to come visit you. We'll do a show in the living room. We'll just boot up the mics, and I want to sit underneath the googly-eyed owl.
Oh, I got to get him from my dad's house, but he's there. I do think I will bring him home.
I demand when I come to Arkansas to visit you and do a show that I get to sit underneath the googly-eyed owl. Or he's across from me, and the entire time I get to look at this googly-eyed fucking owl, this taxidermied owl, just staring at me with his winky wonky eye. Fuck yeah, I'm all for it.
I can stand behind him and give him a voice. You know,
what a fucking ridiculous. That's so cool.
No one is going to know the context of this.
No, and they don't need to. Just understand that Teighlor has a googly-eyed owl, and that's it. That's it. If you want to know, just post in the comments, and maybe Teighlor and I will tell you.
Maybe I'll be sweet enough to let you guys in on it.
You are Southern. Okay. Hold on. Is Southern like that Southern hospitality real, or has that been disintegrated along with the rest of modern civilization?
It's definitely real. We're pretty open to being accepting, and we want to help, and we'll be like, "Oh, darling, you need some help? Oh, I see your tires, flat. Let me pull over and help them." If I get on the side of the road, say I ran out of gas some time ago, I wasn't on the side of the road 5 minutes before someone drove up beside me and asked me if I needed any help. And so it's just kind of like that. But at the same time, I don't know. It's a lot less than it was when I was a kid, because there's just not that sense of community like there was when I was a kid. I don't know. It's still like that, though. I would say it's still like that.
Do you think that's changed because of how the world has changed so dramatically?
I think so. I really do. It's sort of you against me a lot of the time around here. But it's all sort of behind closed doors. So that's when I get into the Southern hospitality thing. Like, we won't say anything about it if we disagree with one another, but you better bet your ass when we leave, we're going to be talking shit about each other.
Oh, no.
But someone put it like, there's kindness and then there's niceness.
Wait, hold on. What's the difference? I don't understand that. What's the difference there?
I've heard in bigger cities, people are kind, but they're not nice. So they're going to help you, and they're going to, help you out. They're going to try to give you directions or whatever, but they might be an asshole about it. Whereas I'm trying to think of where I heard this, but because I've never been to California, they were talking about California. So no offense to anyone's from California. I don't know.
Offense to everybody in California. No, I'm kidding. We love our California natives with their weed stores and nice restaurants in Hollywood. They'll say someone from California is nice, but they're not kind, because they'll be very friendly to you, but then they won't help you out. And I would say the South is very kind and nice, but it's the Bible Belt. There's a lot of racism here. That's not untrue. People say, oh, well, I don't want to stereotype, but it is. And I grew up around it right in my face. So I know how bad it can be here. But at the same time, I don't know, it is nice. It's one of the most affordable places to live, and that just means that we don't get paid shit here. Oh, God. So it's affordable to live, but you don't get paid any money. Oh, my God, motherfucker. What a nightmare. Yeah, but if you get a job that's like what do you call it? Like computer job. I can't think. Hold up. A computer job. A computer. Don't make fun of me. What am I trying to say, Jay? I don't know. Tave, I'm trying to help you here, but you're like, go get a computer job. It's like, oh, shit. She said computer job. Fuck. Give me a second. I understand what you mean. I get what you mean. But okay, well, hopefully you mean other something more will too. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, she's talking about a more technological savvy job to where you go to a long distance job, like a long distance relationship. Working. What are those? No, those are two separate things. They're separate things. Remote work is not the same thing as a long distance relationship. Okay, remote work was what I was trying to think of. Yes, work you can do at a computer in your home. Yes. Jesus. Yes. I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay. I'm sure there's jobs out there where you can get a decent living wage, going into work every day. But that's something that's rapidly diminishing, which leads us back to Mortician's assistant and what you're doing for school. I mean, this is not something that you're doing as a fucking hobby. I mean, you're clearly intent on making this a career for your future. I think it's a great idea.
I am. And right now I work part-time. I work with a marketing company part-time, and
they're not helping you market this. Why?
No, well, they're a different kind of marketing company. They mostly do like blue collar stuff. So certain retail businesses, but also just like HVAC companies.
Oh, okay.
So it's not really my kind of marketing, but it's a great job. It's part-time though. And so working in my industry around Arkansas, let me talk a little bit about that.
I want to hear this.
So I graduated with my sequential illustration degree in 2016, and I went immediately into freelance work, and I did that for about 9+ years. Kind of revealing my age a little bit here, but I did that, and I had to get a full-time job, 9 to 5 in the office, because they let me go off that contract because they sold the company.
Oh, okay.
So I get into working in print shops, and that's about the only job you're going to find as a designer around Arkansas.
Really?
Is a print shop. And I got paid $14 an hour.
Okay.
I never got a raise.
Wow.
And I worked there for about 2 or 3 years. And then I ended up going to another print shop. But I'm telling you, print is one of the most toxic industries. It's toxic.
How? It's print, dude.
The people in it are toxic. So like the owners, and not really so much the employees, but it depends. I promise I'm not being like a petty bitch. Like it just is. It tends, it was phenomenal. Not phenomenal. It was a phenomenon. Because I went to different print shops, and each one I went to was toxic in a different way. But I did meet a lot of friends, and I had a good time. But I will never work in print again. But those are the kind of jobs you're going to get around here if you want to do design. And unfortunately, they're not going to pay you well.
So hold on.
No one around here wants to pay someone who... Yes.
What the fuck do you... Okay, you got to elaborate a little bit. You can't just throw that nuclear missile at me and not tell me more. Like, what do you mean the toxicity? I'm intrigued by that, because it seems like it doesn't seem like the type of industry that would adhere to that type of behavior. I mean, I could imagine it being in video game development or the film industry or the music industry or, those types of industries, but print? I would figure that's kind of cut and dry.
Well, a lot of it is old people run the print shops, and that's not me being ageist. It's just they're people who are set in their ways. And a lot of times what happens is a designer comes in. Well, what are we? We're younger. We're, more technologically savvy. And they look at us sitting at our desk all day, because that's what we have to do. We have to be at a computer, and they think we're lazy. And then they think that we're children because we're a lot younger than them. Like, I was in my 20s, I had a mortgage. I was not a child, but I got treated like a child because I was one of the younger people in the office. So you don't get a lot of respect going in unless you're an older person. And I feel like I feel like I'm just speculating here about other places. I don't know, but like just from my experience.
Yeah.
That is what I encountered. It's just being treated like a child.
I can understand that, though. I mean, like in any industry, if you're in a situation where you have that sounds like an older generation somewhat being unmovable in a way. And as you said, set in their ways about the future of things. And
very much.
I think if you try to live life and attempt to not accept the changes that happen in the world and how people work and how mentalities and stuff, you kind of got to surf. You can't just stay rigid on something because it's not going to work. You're going to find yourself completely outdated. Then you become a crotchety old bitch or a fucking old bastard who no one likes.
Yeah. And a lot of it, too, is these are people that have worked at this same company for many, many years. And a lot of the younger generation, we don't stay at jobs. And so they don't have a lot of respect for us because we're not willing to stay in an environment that doesn't garner growth.
But you come from freelance like I do, so you understand this. And a lot of freelance work, we don't have the luxury of staying at a single position for a long time. A lot of our work is commission-based or it's contract-based, or we have a certain amount of work that we do for a set-out period of time, or it's a single project that we get paid a flat rate or whatever the negotiated amount is. And then we're technically unemployed again. I mean, freelancers, we go from, okay, I have a job, to like, okay, that job's done. Fuck, I need to get another job. And then we're back on a job hunt. So there's the stability isn't the same as it was 10, 20, 30 years ago, where you could go to a single company, work there for a long tenure, build up credibility, tenure, quote unquote, and succeed off that. It's not the same anymore, especially with the world nowadays. It's not the same stability. So you you earning your now masters and setting yourself up to create your own. I graduated
this year.
Congratulations. That's amazing. I will be at the graduation ceremony.
Okay, I'll send you an invite.
Please do. I will crash it and I will live stream the whole thing. I'll be on fucking Twitch live streaming that shit. Are you kidding me? That'd be dope.
Hell yeah.
That'd be dope. I'm gonna get into so much trouble. Just gonna walk around. I'll steal a gown and a cap. Just walk around with a
someone goes up to get their diploma.
Oh, I'm snagging that bitch and running. Yeah, I'm snagging that bitch and running. I won't do it to you though. You might beat me up. You're tough, dude. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm like, I got bad cardio. I'm not gonna like pretend like I'm a badass.
Dude, we okay. Off air, we had a discussion about cardio. I won't tell you what we were talking about, but we had a discussion about cardio, and I don't know. I'm thinking we need to test this. I think Teighlor and I need to have a fucking race. I think we'll do this at the graduation ceremony. I'll just yank her fucking diploma and see if she can catch me. I'm a fast little Korean. You'll never catch me. I'm running from North Korea internment camps. I'm getting the fuck out of here. You ain't catching me. I'm going to China. Fuck it. So, what you could have chose anything for your thesis did you go through any other ebbs and flows, or how did you settle on Mortician's Assistant? Because I understand you wanted to make this.
Yes. So I actually went into the program with a whole different story in mind. It's one I've been working on since 2010, and I could just never put it to paper. But as I got further into the program, I realized that it just wasn't the project I wanted to work on, because I got this new idea and I wanted to really work on this idea. And I thought, I'll be over it. I'll get over this idea and I'll go back to this old idea. And I never did. And for some reason, Mortician's Assistant stuck. I've actually never had that happen before, where just a project stuck with me. And so, that's why I ended up deciding to do it and do a comic instead of writing a novel, even though I'm in the fiction specialization of the program.
Mm-hmm. So what about Mortician's Assistant stuck hold so strongly that you felt that this was the direction you wanted to go into the comic format and everything?
I think it has just a lot of me in it.
I believe
Julia, the other main character, she's not really inspired by me, or she wasn't, but over time she's become more, like, she has more aspects of my personality. And like, of course, she's from Arkansas. So I'm like, these are my people. This is a story I can tell, and I can show the good and the bad side while also having this interesting story about demons and monsters. And I don't know, it resonated with me because it is me. It's a part of who I am. And I have experienced a lot of death in the last few years. And so I'm kind of in that realm in my mind. Like, I'm in that world of how you deal with the other side. And so I just kind of wanted to capture that a little bit.
I think that's a healthy way to process it. I can't, like, we're all different, so we all process things differently. But I mean, to create a creative work, an endeavor such as Mortician's Assistant, and fleshing these things out, it may end up helping you heal, man. It really could, because we all deal with this stuff differently. And being able to put your questions, or maybe there's stuff that's unresolved, I don't know, but I'm guessing, all the stuff that you may have had thoughts about, you could put it into this comic and you can work through it. And it's cathartic. I imagine it would probably be very cathartic to work through this and put it in a medium, especially in something that's so important to you. And not just educationally, but personally. And that sort of work, those sort of projects, those types of things typically had the best results because they mean so much to the creator and they're very close to the chest. And the main character may not have started off as you, but there's so many similarities, and it sounds like it just kind of occurred naturally over time that she took on more and more traits of yourself. And it could be your own subconscious way of dealing with it. I have no idea. I'm not a doctor, but that's what it sounds like. I could be totally wrong. This could just be something you thought was an awesome idea, and you went, I'm dealing with a lot of death, so write death. Yeah, except no dead people are walking around trying to eat human meat out of refrigerators.
Well, and how do I put this? You have a great point. It is helpful to me, but also, how do I say this? I'm trying to think how to say it.
With words.
No, I got to use my words. I'm having a moment, Jay.
It's okay.
But by Julia not being like me, but also having some of me there, she has her shit together way more than I do. She had a much nicer childhood than I did. And getting to look at that sort of mirror of what maybe could have been, that is interesting for me. And that inspires me in a different way. And then where you have Ian, who's very chaotic, he's kind of the other part of me. So they both in a way represent an aspect of myself.
I mean, that's intriguing. So you've taken two characters that are vastly different from each other, and those are just sides of yourself.
Yes. So it kind of plays on the theme of bipolar disorders, because I have bipolar disorder. And then also there's a lot of not overtones, that's not the correct word. There's a lot of themes of suicide within the story, because that kind of goes hand in hand with bipolar disorder. You have the manic depressive states. And I'm not necessarily educating people on suicide, but just trying to show that I guess anyone can have these feelings, no matter where you're coming from in life. And so having these two vastly different characters both dealing with certain things like that in their mental health, that was a big inspiration behind it too. It was one of those inspirations I didn't realize until later was part of the story. Oh, okay. Because I was just having fun with it. I was just having a good time. I wanted demons and a guy who was sexy but eats human flesh, very much the monster lovers community there, I wanted to go that direction, but then I was like, I can do something more with this. I don't think I would have stuck with it if I hadn't done that.
I get that. Another thought that I just had when you were talking that really just hit my brain, I have to voice to you, is I think that's actually probably one of the most important things you can do in this comic with Mortician's Assistant is talk about these things, because I think a lot of people are aware of what bipolar disorder is, but they don't really know what it's like. And for somebody who does have it to kind of lean into the different aspects of what bipolar disorder feels like, and being able to put that on a comic and give it words and give it life and give it dimensions, I think that's important to do. It's a commentary. It's one person's experience with it, because I know this through talking to people and having acquaintances and friendships and stuff like that with people who do have it, or they have depression. They have a different mental disability, not disability. They have a mental health issue, and bipolar doesn't look the same. From what I've understood, it all looks different. The manic episodes look similar, but that downside of bipolar disorder, it's radically different for every person. Some people are worse than others. Some people just can't do anything. Their mood can shift suddenly, and it's the timing of how it happens too. Some people aren't super up and down. Some people go through stints to where they're really manic, or they have specific episodes, and then they get into this depressive state where, it's fucking hard to get them out of the house. You gotta invest a lot of energy into understanding when somebody with bipolar disorder is going through a depressive state and how to kind of help them walk through that to get to the other side. And I think that's interesting. I think while you may not be trying to teach people about it necessarily educationally, you are offering people and myself, because I'm a part of this now too, and a deeper insight into it. Because I don't have bipolar disorder. I don't have that. So I can't be on this show with you right now and lie to you and say I get what you're talking about, because I don't. I haven't experienced it. But what I can do is I can observe it, and I can find it absolutely intriguing that was a decision that you ended up making, whether consciously or subconsciously. Because I think that sort of stuff is important. I mean, especially in a creative endeavor. I think.
Yeah, like I said, it was something that came later that I realized I had put into the story, like Julia being more representative of the depressive side and Ian being more representative of the manic side. Symbolically, yes, but just also they will have some things that happen within the story where I know that I'm considering having Ian have bipolar disorder. Julia probably not. Yeah. Julia will probably have maybe depressive, generalized depressive disorder, or maybe I'm thinking anxiety disorder. Hold up.
Did you?
Doesn't matter. The point is, she'll have something else.
Jesus Christ. That was the mind of a writer just put on full audio display right there, folks. You just saw thoughts. You just heard thoughts, actual thoughts. She wasn't even talking to me at that point. She was just talking to herself about what she's going to do in the story. With Julie.
The ADHD plays a role there.
Oh, let's not even go on that. You and I both have severe ADHD. And what makes it worse is that we have a very similar type of ADHD. Because the second you start going on something, I start going on something. And then you ping pong off that and I surf on it. And next thing you know, we're just in a fucking banter fest. And then we don't even know how we got there. There's moments where we'll talk and we'll go, wait, how the fuck? Wait, what are we talking about? It's just the verbal equivalent of, ooh, shiny red ball. Let's go find it. Wait, why are we here? Where's my bicycle? Who took my jacket? Who are you? Like, it's what the fuck? So, I do got a real question.
That's us in a nutshell.
It very much is. It very much is, Tay. I got a question, though. Was it in your original thought process to voice Julia yourself? Or were you originally going to?
Not at all.
Okay. I was wondering about that because that's an interesting decision. I figured that
when she was from Georgia, I wasn't going to do it. I was going to find someone from Georgia to do it. But when I switched it to Arkansas, I was like, well, hell, I'm from Arkansas. I might as well just play her voice.
I mean, yeah, there's not a lot of, you're going to save money.
Yeah,
save
for
money
sure. That was also a factor, Jay.
Absolutely. I'm not a cheap whore, everybody. I'm an escort.
I am a cheap whore, everyone.
No! Have some self-respect, Tay. No. Ladies and gentlemen, she is not a cheap whore. She is very much on the high level of luxury escort services. What are you talking? She's not an escort, everybody. I'm just saying. It's just the caliber we're talking about here. Don't get weird.
As far as y'all know.
Oh, that's true. As far as y'all know, you Southern woman, you Southern belle. I almost said something else and I immediately would have regretted it. I'm keeping it clean. Jesus God.
That's no. So, like, Arkansas is not really seen as the sort of Southern belle states. We are definitely, when people think of girls from Arkansas, they're not really thinking plantation farms,
I think of Razorbacks.
Debutante balls, stuff like that. They're thinking rednecks and, shit.
I mean,
Razorback football.
Yeah, I think of Razorback football when I think of Arkansas females because there's a lot of them.
You said Arkansas. Oh no!
Did I say Arkansas? It's Arkansas.
You did.
Yeah. I don't know.
There are people who say Arkansas, though.
I think it's just because English wasn't my first language, so I pick up things a little strangely. Either way.
Even if that weren't the case, like. Some people call it Arkansas. I'm just teasing you.
I know you are. Don't worry. Ooh. Anyways. Jesus God. No. So it didn't start off as you wanting to voice her because obviously different region. And you said earlier on, and this is when you hired me after I did the first audition reel. Because I remember I sent one audition reel and then you wanted me to do the lines again with my natural accent from, because I'm from Chicago. And you're like, no, just do,
Yes.
just talk, basically. Just do you. And I'm going, oh, okay, I'll just be myself. And so I get that. Now, did you have a reason why you wanted to keep to native speakers from whatever particular region that you wanted versus having someone, because they're all voice actors. We can all do a variety of regions or accents to varying degrees of ability. That just depends on the voice actor and what their specialties are. Like, why did you lean towards native speakers versus someone who could do the accent convincingly to an extent?
Well, so there's just an authenticity to it. Authenticity, excuse me. I was listening to an audiobook, Six Gun Tarot, and this is actually what made me realize I wanted to be very specific about my voice actors. And this is not a dig at any of the voice actors on the Six Gun Tarot book reading, but there were some that just definitely did not have that Western Southern sounding accent. Sometimes people put Western and Southern in the same camp.
Ooh,
but they were definitely putting it on, and it distracted me from the story because I was like, that's not how someone from there would sound. And so I decided I wanted to be really authentic with it. And actually, the guy who played Edwin in the comic promo I did, he's from Tennessee I believe. But okay. I actually have an Arkansas guy. He's Black and he is from the Delta area of Arkansas. So he would have a very authentic accent. I just haven't been able to communicate with him yet on getting those lines done. Absolutely.
And that makes sense. I mean, if you have somebody who's from Tennessee, that Southern accent is wildly different than someone from Arkansas. It just is. I mean, and also to what you were saying a second ago, Western sounds completely different than Southern, because Southern could be anything. It could be South Carolina. It could be either one of the Carolinas. It could be Arkansas. It could be Alabama. It could be Kentucky. And all of those have different variations in how they talk.
Yeah, like Georgia's like Georgia.
Georgia. Oh, there she did it. She did it. Oh, I'm so happy. She's Georgia. And then
I'm just a little Southern peach.
Oh my God.
I'm from Georgia.
That's good though. That's good. Then you have
but like Arkansas is me.
Yes.
A dumbass. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing everyone from Arkansas. I'm playing. I can say it though because I'm from here.
Yes.
So y'all don't get mad.
Everybody from Arkansas is going, that fucking bitch. I thought she was a Razorback.
Yeah. They generally do. How
dare she? Oh no. But Louisiana's different too, because Louisiana, that sounds like words are just falling out of the mouths.
And they have two distinct accents in Louisiana too. They have like the Creole accent, which I cannot do. And then they have one that sounds like it's from the Bronx. And that's because they have an Irish American heritage down there. And where you have the French and you have the Irish American, you have two different accents that developed. And like Arkansas, that, or most Southern accents, when they're looked at and studied, a lot of times it's just a British accent that's been slowed down.
Oh, that's interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah, so it just kind of comes from our ancestors and like whoever settled the region once upon a time. And that's like where the key difference in the Southern accent come from. Not that most people would know. And like him being from Tennessee is not an issue whatsoever, because his accent is authentic. It's still authentically from the South. Mm-hmm. And that's great. But I wouldn't say hire someone from Washington State to then put on a Southern accent unless they did a really, really, really good job. And I did have some voice actors who auditioned that did a really, really good job, but it was also important for me to hire someone of color because I wanted, he's a character that is a Black man. I wanted a Black man to play him.
Yeah, but
I felt that was important.
But that makes sense. It just makes sense. I mean, if you have a Black character, like have the Black dude play the Black character. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, here's a question. With when you're talking about accents that kind of threw you off the story, does that happen when you would be watching a movie, for example, and the accent isn't totally accurate, but you also have this kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the phrase? You have this, suspension of disbelief to where you could buy into it because there's this buffer of a visual presentation along with it. Say it's a period piece.
I think with the buffer of people using their body language and acting it out, it's not as noticeable. I do notice it, but it doesn't take me out of the story as much. Now, there are some cases where I think to myself, what were these producers thinking about choosing this actor who, for example, would say he's from England and he's doing a Southern American accent. But then, like I said, a British accent slowed down sometimes sounds like a Southern accent. So we're not really so different if you're a trained voice actor and can do it, or a trained on-set actor.
Of course. I think it just takes, I think in the area of not having the native accent required, but you have to put on one, it just takes time. And this is why a lot of actors and voice actors, I don't know how many of them do it. I'm sure most of them do if they actually care about their craft. They'll spend the time to create the accent, or they'll sound as close to it as they reasonably can. And that doesn't happen overnight. That could take weeks, months, years. It depends on the fluency of that specific actor's ability in order to create the voice, because some accents come easier than others for different people for different reasons. It all depends on your experiences, what you've been around, and sometimes what just works for you. Sometimes there's just accents you could pull off with no problem. Other ones, you got to work at it because you might not understand the structure on how they change certain pronunciations, etc. It just all depends. Now, speaking of voice acting, okay, you've been you're a writer, you're an artist, and you're very talented, mind you. I do have to point that out. You're very good at what you do. But you've been going into voice acting as well. Like, what pushed you into that direction? Because it's in the same entertainment medium, it's just on the opposite side. I mean, at that point, you're just being the cog and bringing people's creations to life. Because you went from the brainstorming, you went from the engine to now you're an accessory. Like you're building it.
Well, I mean, it's something I've always wanted to do. I just always wanted to do voice acting. I think I've wanted to do it my entire life, but I've just never had the time and I've never had the setup. And I still don't really have the full setup like I want. I had a mic, it broke. There's lots of obstacles in the road to success here as far as that goes. But I just thought it would be amazing to see my voice in a character because I've always loved animation. I've always loved art, and I would rather do voice acting than say act on stage because I want to see these really very different from me characters have my voice. And so that would be amazing if that ever happened. Like I'm just dipping my toes in right now. I'm just starting out. But no, I would really like to be successful with it.
I think you can do just fine, specifically because you have a Southern accent naturally. There's always going to be a demand for that in some shape or form or some capacity. And I think the number one thing you can do is audition. Keep auditioning. And
yes,
the number one thing I'll say to a new voice actor like yourself, just like, because I do segments on my show when I don't have guests lined up where I'll give advice and things that I've done. I'm not saying it's the gospel. I'm just saying this is stuff that I've done that's worked for me and I've gotten hired because of it. So hopefully some of it translates and funnels over to whoever listens to it and picks it up and learns from it. Always audition. Don't be afraid of it. And go for the parts that challenge you, that you have to go seek out a YouTube tutorial on how to do an accent, or maybe it's something more dramatic than you're not sure if you can pull off the cadence, or you're not sure if you could pull off the emotional range, because you have to challenge yourself and take the time to warm up your voice. I've never talked about this before, but there are things you need to do to like warm up your voice. Like just play with the ranges, play with your voice. Literally, it sounds so stupid, but like think about how deep can your voice go? Can you make something sound convincing with a deeper tone? And then think about how your speaking style is. Like if we think about my natural speaking sound, it's very sharp. Like I speak very sharply. It's very direct, sharp, and short. Then there's other ones where You can hear other people's voices that they sound a little more greasy, or every now and then people's voices can get a little fluttery, and it's almost like they don't really have a direction of where they need to go. And then you could think about raspiness, or the different types of breath you could use, or you could think about range and talk down here. Or sometimes you can sound like a movie announcer, and this is unfortunately how some people talk. Like, they're just in those simple, stupid little examples. They're widely different.
We do
voices.
We do a lot of advertisement for businesses, and so when I first started out, I would use our scripts that I help write.
Excellent.
And I would do, whatever that customer was, and it was very much like, let me think of one. It's just like, come on in to Lazy Boy, it's the Labor Day sale, and that's like the cadence of it.
That is.
Do you want
great.
Sweet deals?
Wait, no, dude. Wait, what? That's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
That's high practice.
That's good practice, though. It's good for you to do because it's going to help you. Always audition. Always audition. I know you have a lot going on, obviously, with life, but when you have the chance to sit down and you have, whatever, a couple hours of the hour, whatever you have, time-wise, to sit down in auditions, go for it.
It's great advice. I mean, it's great advice because it's what I teach my creative writing students too. You always have to keep writing. If you want to be a successful person at writing, you should write at least a little bit every day. And that's not, set in stone. Obviously, we have things that go on in our lives. Sometimes it's hard to get started on a routine, but if you just write a little bit every day, even if it's just a sentence or a paragraph, and then you're like, fuck it, I don't feel like writing, that's fine because then you put the effort forth and, you will grow. You will continue to grow as a writer.
As a formally educated creative writer, I have a question for you because I do not have any degrees or anything like that in writing. I've just been fortunate enough to where my writing has been picked up for various projects. And
well, I'll be the first to say you don't need a formal education to be a writer. I've been in the education field now. I'm working towards a master's. You do not have to have that. I decided to go to get a master's because I needed not only the discipline, but because it was a goal of mine to get a master's degree. And because I wanted the option to teach potentially, and you have to have a master's degree to do that. I
understand that. And, you're setting yourself up for success. And I would imagine that there are benefits to having formal education in creative writing because there are systems and things and methods you can use that someone like myself or other people who aren't trained and educated in that type of creative writing who wouldn't be able to fall back on those things. We wouldn't know where to start. We wouldn't know where to drift back to. But the question I had for you was, when yes, you sit down to... she said, yes, sir. Oh, daddy like. Okay. When you said...
That's the Southern coming out in me. That was a slip. I'm very yes, sir, no, ma'am.
It's all right.
That was how I was taught.
I was raised the same way. My father and mother, both my Oma and Appa, they told me when you answer someone, you say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, thank you, sir, thank you,
ma'am.
Had an Oma
it's
respectful.
And Appa?
Yeah.
I had a mama and papa.
Yeah. Oma, a mama, papa. That's adorable. Oma is Korean. Oma is mom. Mommy.
Okay.
And Appa.
Oma.
Means,
okay.
Yeah. Appa.
Now I'm just an idiot. Now I just sound like an idiot.
No. You don't sound like an idiot. How are you supposed
swine.
To know? Oh, don't worry. I'm just as lowbrow and uncultured than you, okay? I'm sitting in the United Kingdom right now, not giving a flying fuck who the prime minister is, because who fucking cares? That is the most American thing in the world. Yeah. Hey, who's the president? I don't give a shit. My taxes just keep going up.
Very true. Very true.
But the question I had for you is, when you sit down to write, if you have an idea, can you just go, okay, I have an idea, and you could just start writing? Or
go ahead. Sorry.
Do you need to perhaps read another author's work, or watch something, or listen to a song? Do you require inspiration time before you could sit down and write? Because what I've learned in my own writing, because I feel like every writer's different, because they have to be. Nobody's the fucking same. If I've had clients who will hire me and they'll have a bullet point list of what they want written in that story, and I'll read it and I'll go, okay. And then I'll just start writing. And then I'll submit a first draft. And then they go, okay, I like this, but change this, that, and the other. And then I go back and I change it with their notes. I don't require any time to have to think about it. I just go. And whatever happens, happens.
So there is terminology. There are two different kinds. I'm trying to remember what they are off the top of my head, but I won't spend too much time trying to remember. The point I'm going to make is that there's some people who can just jump into writing, and there's some people who have to lay out and make a list. Most people are in the middle of that. They need to do both to have a consistent story. I would say I'm kind of in the middle of that. I'm very much someone who gets a lot of inspiration from music. I do enjoy listening to music to get my inspiration, but I don't really listen to it when I write if it has a lot of lyrics in it. I can listen to, instrumental music and such, but no, I get my inspiration initially from music, sometimes TV, sometimes books. But I mean, when I sit down with an idea, I just lay it out. So I do enjoy doing bullet points and such, because then that takes the pressure off of me to really think creatively in that moment. And then I come back to that list and insert the creativity, I hope, into the story.
I mean, but that makes a lot of sense. Because what I found with bullet pointing and just doing something like a concept or a synopsis, it's just a super abbreviated Cliff Notes version of what you want to write in that chapter, in that whatever it may be. It just makes it easier because you already
makes it easier to come back to as well.
Right, because you have a point A I want to go from point A to point B. And here's some of the stuff that happens in the middle. Now you just got to flesh it out and make it however many fucking pages that you want to make it if it's your own project, or however many pages to whatever the client details. Because I think
right.
I think every page is like a minute?
Yeah.
I think roughly. I could be wrong. That could be screenplay. That could be screenplay writing. But I mean, that's primarily what I've done. I've either done screenplay writing or that
comic writing.
Well, comic writing and
screenwriting is very similar.
It is similar because I have a shout out to my friend Mare Bear, who hired me on to do a comic for her. And yeah, we'll sit down and we'll bullet point things out. We'll write it. And yeah, it roughly translates to about every page of comic that we write usually translates, if we were going to dub it, probably about a minute of dialogue, most likely.
Yeah. It's not much. And one thing my teacher, my thesis advisor, has been on my ass about is I tend to make too much dialogue. I write too much dialogue, and I need to narrow it down whenever we go through edits, because only so much can fit in a bullet point, or not a bullet, a bubble.
A text bubble.
And so, yeah, text bubble. There we go. I'm a professional, guys. I know terms.
A super professional.
But yeah, so 30 words to a panel is pretty much what I would say would be the limit on how many words you need in a panel. But you can go up to 40 and 50 depending on how large the panel is. So I have these long strings of dialogue, and I'm having to go back and shorten them because I tend to write them a little bit, I guess, more formally. And I got to get in the head of how do people talk? So I have to start reading them out loud so I can shorten them. That's
a very interesting distinction, because if you look at how writing is done, people will write it, I have, for example, they won't use a contraction, but in speech.
But we all use contractions.
Yes, contractions are used all motherfucking day. And so
especially if you have ADHD.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, yeah, that should be flying.
Our brains cannot keep up with our mouths, so we be shortening things so much.
Absolutely, it's a real thing. It's the real deal. Like you non-ADHD, you non-neurodivergent people don't understand how fast both of Tebe and J-Dog's brains are going right now. We're flying a million miles a minute. There's a million things we want to say, but I know after we end the show today, we're going to go, fuck, we didn't talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's do another one, goddammit, next week. Fucking hurry up.
I'm trying to also be very good about not talking over you, because you get so excited to say something.
Of course.
And you're like, oh shit, I talked over them.
No, it's because it's not even that. And this is the whole thing of conversation. It's just one of those deals where I'm not worried about that. I mean, That's part of a conversation. Look, we're friends, so it's not even a big deal. I just look at it as I'm able to talk to my friend about something that she's been working on that means a lot to her. And it means a lot to me. You know, I've never really been able to vocally thank you for hiring me as Ian. I mean, that's a big deal. I won't reveal too much about it because that's up to you on what you want to reveal about Mortician's assistant. But it
just
really
know he's
is
a perfect Ian.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's very much an honor to play Ian because I'll break it down like this, ladies and germs. Ian is Jay with the volume knob cranked all the way to 10 and then broken off with the bass setting set to max. It is me uncensored. It's just me if you left me and allowed me to do whatever I wanted, which is not good for humanity. So thank God there are laws. Oh my goodness. So it's a thrill. It's a thrill. And just, ladies and gentlemen, just wait. Just wait. You guys better go check out the Patreon. You got to check out the Patreon that she has set up because that's going to have some more interesting material that Tay has told me about that I'm going to be doing eventually.
Some future not safe for work things. I like to give the fans what they want, and I do feel like Ian and other characters in the story are going to be things that the audience wants. I'm hopeful for that anyway, because that's sort of the vibe I'm going for. Because it is a romance, it does have romance in it. Obviously, it's adventure. There's demons. There's a lot of stuff going on in it, but like at the end of the day, it is sort of a slow burn romance.
But I think that's what makes it even more compelling. You have demons, you have monsters, you have death, you have decay, you have rot, you have this story dripping in this gothic liquid, this black mass of sin and debauchery and absolute unfettered chaos. But at the core of it, all the fun shit, gore, horror galore. But in the middle of it, at the core of this, it's a love story.
Yes.
And there is nothing more entrancing than to see a love story, a slow burn love story unfold amidst the chaos. I mean, that's something that's hard to do. That's really hard to do.
And I'm working hard to pull it off. So let's hope I'll be successful at it.
I think you'll be just fine. And my major logic behind it is because it comes from a place that's personal to you. And that alone is going to change the motivation and drive and passion and purpose and in wanting to make this your vision. Because if you were doing this as a commission, yes, you would give it your best professional attempt. You could, but it wouldn't be yours. This is yours. This is something that is near and dear to you. So you're going to go above and beyond that you normally would with just a professional commission or a professional job. You're just going to. It's because it's yours. It's personal.
Learn to get along with each other first, and then eventually they start feeling for one another. I just think that's very important in a real life relationship, and so I'm trying my best to show that with these two.
Do you think that's an interesting discussion? Do you actually think that it's important for romantic partners to be friends?
I absolutely do. Really? I think your romantic partner should be your best friend.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. I'm not saying you're wrong. Neither one of us actually know. This is just what we think. But I find that interesting. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. They go, well, why are you with this person so-and-so? You guys been married 30 fucking years. Why are you still, what's the key to success? That's my best friend. And I'm going, ooh, I don't know if I want to fuck my best friend. I've had sex with one of my best friends before, and it didn't end well.
Well, usually, you have a certain vibe with one another that it was always gonna be that. It was always gonna be a romantic relationship. So you go into dating with someone, and it's more. I wouldn't recommend fucking your best friends because you're right. It can be very awkward afterwards.
It got a little messy.
And sometimes it works out for people. Yeah, it can work out for some people. Like everyone's different. We're all different under the sun. That's what makes us beautiful. But I think a lot of it is, I think you have to be honest with one another going in that I am attracted to you. I want that sort of relationship from the get-go. And then the friendship can develop from there. I don't know if it works so well the other way.
That's such a natural, old school, traditional way of bridging these characters together, because in their in Mortician's assistant, in their situation, it's gonna start off as friendship, because with so much going on, how the fuck do you even consider falling for somebody? But then it's a slow burn. So over time, feelings develop, and this happens in the real world. This is a very real thing that happens to people. People become friends, they become cool over shared experiences, bad things, good times and bad. They develop feelings for each other. And I go, well, yeah, this story is a little different. I wanted to show that
for sure.
But it's very natural.
For one, he tries to eat her when they first meet, and not in the fun way either. Like
this is not in the fun way. Yeah, that's not typical. That's not normally how people meet. No, that's not what's going on. Holy fuck.
But like they are each other's better half, and I know that sounds kind of corny, but we should strive to whoever we're with, whether it's platonic and friendship or a romantic relationship, to make that other person better without changing them. And so that's something I really wanted to focus on as well as their friendship develops. That neither one of them's trying to change the other one. They're just accepting them for who they are and their past and everything bad that goes with it as well.
Ooh, I like that. Now, see, that is why I think there's a big recipe for success with this project, with Mortician's Assistant, because that's human. And throughout all the supernatural stuff that's going on throughout this comic, the core of it is stuff that every single person listening right now can relate to. That's real. It's authentic. And that's what I find so intriguing about it.
Ian's a very human character. So, not to be weird, because I've said Ian's sexy. He is a sexy character. He's supposed to be a sexy character. But he actually derives... I did. I designed him that way because that's what I wanted. But he actually derives a lot of inspiration from my father when he was younger. Because when he isn't a ghoul, before he becomes a ghoul, I'll kind of give a little bit of backstory on him.
Okay.
Try not to spoil it too much, but it'll get revealed pretty early on in the story. He was in organized crime. He didn't have a great childhood, and he was a drug addict. So Ian, before he becomes a ghoul, is addicted to cocaine. And he has a lot of struggles
very Chicago.
That are very personal. Well, there's a lot of struggles that are very personal that, he hides behind cocaine and being this very extroverted, charismatic person, takes women to bed. He doesn't know, doesn't even care what their names are. He's not a cruel person necessarily in that sense, but he just doesn't let people in. And just sort of exploring that aspect of him, I kind of discovered that he reminds me of my dad a little bit, because my dad struggled with drugs, but especially when he was younger. Like, he did everything under the sun, and he would tell me these wild stories. Now, my dad wasn't in organized crime. He wasn't in the mafia, wasn't in the mob. And even if he was, I wouldn't tell you guys that. But he did, he had those things going on in his life that he experienced, and he would share those stories with me, and I would think, wow, how am I still alive? And yet he was this very charismatic person. He made everybody laugh. Everyone loved my dad. And so unconsciously, some of him bled into Ian. I thought it was me that was in there because I'm a lot like my dad, but I think it actually is a lot of my dad's struggles and the better parts of his personality that were the positive aspects of Ian, coupled with the negative things such as drug addiction.
Man, God damn it. Part of me wants this comic to already be done, but we haven't recorded everything yet. This is what I'm thinking. I'm like, God damn it, I want to read this thing.
My artist Alba Marine is working on it. She's doing a fantastic job.
Shout out!
I'm very excited.
Shout out!
Yes, she's amazing.
What was the sketch you showed me? Was that you drew that, right?
No. That was Alba.
That was
I
Alba.
made the decision.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I made the decision early on that I was not going to draw it. I did not trust myself to capture what my vision was, but also I knew if I put myself in charge of it, it wasn't going to get done because I lack the self-confidence in that area. Now, there are comics that I want to do. I do have other story ideas that I think my art style fits better. Mm-hmm. And I do enjoy, of course, drawing Ian and Julia, and I will continue to draw art for this story as a side addition to the story. But at the end of the day, I was like, I'm not the one. I can't bring the realism and the beauty into the story that I want to. So like, I searched and searched and searched, and I found an amazing artist.
Oh, she's doing really good work, because I was looking at that sketch and I looked at it I think I went back to look at it a couple times throughout the day, and I would just be like 5-10 minutes. I'd be sitting there staring at it going, shit, that's going to look fucking amazing when it's done. I was blown away by it. And this is just a sketch, people. This isn't even like a full render thing with color. She's really good. I think everybody's going to appreciate it. Where are you going to end up? I know this is for school, but like, I imagine you're going to be releasing this over things like YouTube and sites like that, aren't you?
My ultimate goal with it, I should have my thesis defense is what it's called. Basically, I sit down and 3 of the faculty will talk to me about my project, what my thoughts were behind the project. I have to defend they'll ask me certain questions. I'll have to defend the project as to why I made that decision. But it's all pretty lighthearted and it's fine. But I, after that, can start putting it out to get published. So that's my plan, is around in October, November, I'm going to start looking for publishers. The comic will not be done, but it doesn't necessarily have to be done. You only need about 6 to 8 pages to submit to a publisher. So my goal is to have at least that amount done so I can start submitting.
Oh, that's going to be beautiful. Fuck yeah, I'm all about it.
I hope someone will get it. I hope someone will take it. I really do want to be published. I would rather be published than self-published, but I will self-publish if I absolutely can't find a publisher.
Oh, hey. If
it's getting published.
It's getting published one way or another. If you can't find a publisher, absolutely self-publish it. Because look, in the event that you don't get a publisher, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad piece of fiction. Not at all. There's plenty of people out there who have self-published and it blew up, or it got a sizable response, or it was just a fact to get it to the point to where it does get published, where you put it out there. That's pretty much the most important part. It's about completing it. It's taking it from concept to final. And I don't think that this one comic is going to be it. I don't believe that at all. You have a whole story.
Oh, no. I've already got several other chapters laid out. I haven't wrote them yet, but they're laid out. They're on the table. They're there. I just got to make time to do it.
I totally get that. I knew, based on what you were talking about initially, when we first started talking about the comic and just your thoughts for it. This was off air. And I immediately thought to myself, I'm going to be working with Teighlor for a long time. I can already tell. I'm going to be working with her for the foreseeable future. Jesus. Okay, cool.
Well, I'm very happy about that because you're great. And honestly, I don't know. Your voice is just perfect for Ian. And as soon as I heard it, I got chills, like literal chills. I was like, that's it. That is the voice. And I got about 100 or so auditions for Ian.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know you got like 100.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Because I saw Mortician's Assistant and I saw the casting and I went, I have to be a part of this. I don't do that very often because most of the time it's about having a job that's, medium long tenure.
We got to make that bread.
Got to make that money, right? But I saw Mortician's Assistant and I went, this is the type of stuff. This is the type of project that I need to attach myself to. I have to be in this in some shape or form. This is the style that I like. This is the tone that I like. It's the genre that I find I personally find appealing. And I went, I have to be attached to this. And when I got Ian, I went, oh shit. You should have seen me when I got the confirmation from you. I was, what's the word? I was giddy. I was stupid giddy. I was happy. That was a great day
That
because
makes me so happy.
well, no, good. I'm glad because that's what happened. I remember I read it that I got cast in the email, and I literally punched the fucking air and went, yes. I went, fuck yeah, I fucking got it. And I am, and thank God my neighbors are cool, because they're probably wondering why the Korean dude was screaming at the top of his lungs going, yeah. But I was stupidly excited. And then I had the privilege of reading the sides in the script, and I went, oh my fucking God, this thing is perfect. And it was that audition line. It was. I
really enjoy writing Ian. Or enjoy writing how he talks, because like I don't know how. Okay, I never have met a man from Chicago, like as in like in person. I have a teacher who's from Chicago, but she's a woman, and
that's not a man.
Her accent's not very strong. But her accent's not very strong, and it was so funny, and I think I mentioned this to you when I first met you. I had just had to call a bunch of people in Chicago that day, and I met a guy named Vinny.
Yeah, you did.
And he was the most stereotypical Chicago-sounding guy that I would imagine, because I didn't really know. All I have is stereotypes to go off of.
Of course.
But he sounded exactly how I imagined, so that was really funny. But when you talk, I was like, okay, no, that's more, not so much Vinny. Definitely more Jay. Not so much Vinny, definitely more Jay. But I got a glimpse into what those accents are like. But writing one was hard, because a lot of people were telling me, Teighlor, don't write an accent. It's so hard to write an accent. Yeah, but I don't know. I think you get a lot from reading an accent as long as it's coherent and it's not a very heavy accent. But I had to put it through a Chicago translator, so I would write the line how I would normally write it, and I put it through a little Chicago translator, and I was like, okay, that sounds right, I guess, and I put it in there.
I'm with you.
So yeah, if you ever come across any lines that don't sound right, just let me know.
I was already under the impression that if there was a line that I felt I could do in a way that would work for me, just because I know that you're preferring it, that I speak in my native accent, that I could just do it. I would obviously do what was written, but then give you the alt line and then let you just have the option of whichever one you wanted to use. And I don't think that in any universe you would look at that and go, why did he do that? I think you would just go, ooh, options. Yeah, let me get that.
No, I actually changed some of the dialogue based off your audition, or not your audition, your submission. Because I realized, okay, I wasn't writing it in a natural way, so I would change the lineup a little bit. So no, it helped me a lot.
Well, good. I'm very glad that I could have been. I was a service to you in assisting you in some of the dialogue choices and changes made for Ian, because Ian's obviously he's a lead, but he's also what a broken dude. What a broken guy.
That's what I love about it. I love hurting my characters so much.
Oh God, just how sociopathic did you sound there? Holy shit. I love hurting my characters, but I mean, as a writer, as a creative person, you would never do it to a real person, but to your fake creative characters.
Not.
Yeah, but to the characters you create, you'll put them through fucking hell and back, and you'll laugh at it. You'll be like, that's so fucked up. I'm gonna make it worse.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, dude, that was pretty much the Ian creation, is like, that sounds terrible. I'm going to see what else I can put this poor man through. He's got to have a reason why he's a coke addict and he's in organized crime. So I just kind of went from there and went backwards and gave him a horrible childhood.
I have been around cocaine addicts before. I have been around criminal people before. And if it helps, I'll sit in a writing session with you, and I'll give you a couple of stories or some stuff that's happened that I've witnessed. And if you want to sift through it and maybe use it, that's cool, just as an inspiration.
Yeah, no, I'd love that.
No,
Can I tell you a funny story?
Oh yeah, tell me. Yes, funny stories are good.
So whenever I first started out, he wasn't in Chicago because she was in Georgia. The line that goes through Georgia, the train line that goes through Georgia, comes from Pennsylvania, sort of Pittsburgh area. I was like, oh, I'll make him from Pittsburgh or something. And I was researching that, and I had a class, and I was like, let's think how to explain this. I was looking into getting a prison pen pal because I wanted to try and find someone in organized crime to talk to. Well, I learned that you're not really supposed to do that, and that's bad, and that you could get them in trouble and then thus yourself in trouble. So like, obviously I didn't, but I was like on the prison websites in Pittsburgh trying to find someone. You know, they have their mug shots on there. I'm like, no, that doesn't work. And so I'm just going through mug shots trying to pick someone to be a pen pal. And I was getting mad because I was like, there's no way for me to know what their fucking crime is. I don't know if they're even someone I would want to talk to about this. And I was ranting to my class, and the girl was like, oh, I used to work in the prison system. And she gave me a bunch of websites to go on. Anyway.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I will delve too deep sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm bad about that.
Yeah. That you know,
but I have no fear.
Yes. No fear is good. But when you're getting into the point where you're going to go, I'm going to talk to prison people.
I figured like we'd get along fine. I mean, you know.
I just figured likable. We'd get along fine. Of course, they're desperate for human attention. Next thing you know, they're going to be having you smuggle cocaine through fucking egg timers.
I wouldn't even know how to do that.
Allegedly.
That's too complicated.
It's too complicated. It's like, I'm not doing that, man. I would have to like finagle an egg timer and no.
I don't know how to do that shit.
No, I can't do it. That's not me. I'm gonna go back to my farm. I'm gonna go on my farm and write weird, horrific shit that happens to my characters and have dead people.
It's not who I am, Scarface Jimmy. Like, you can't make me do that.
Jimmy, like, what the fuck?
I know we're best friends, Scarface Jimmy, but like, I can't be trying to send you shivs and shit through the mail. Like, that's not good. It's against the law. It's
like, Scarface Jimmy, I can't send you shivs through the mail. I will absolutely put tobacco inside a new pair of shoes and then stitch the soles back on. But that's it. That's all I'm doing. That's as far as I'll go.
Yep. I'm not going any further.
Yeah, no.
My brother was in and out of prison, so I actually am pretty acquainted with the prison system, and we have visitations there and stuff. So like, I won't say I knew a lot of people in prison, but my brother did, and yeah, you just kind of get a glimpse into it. And most of the time, they're just trying to make it day to day, but it can get bad for sure.
I mean, it's prison. Like, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's boring prison. More than anything.
I was just about to say, I bet you it's more boring than anything else, but I would think that depends on where you are. If
it definitely depends on where you are. And it depends on your personality and how well you can handle people.
100%. If you in some minimum security prison or like a work center and you're at the end of your sentence, or a halfway house, dude, that's easy coasting. People just trying to leave. But if you're behind the motherfucking fences in like a medium or a max, whoo, that's a whole different...
My brother was in Cummins. Well, he was in all of them, honestly, but he was in Cummins there for a while. And that's like 80 men to a barrack or something like that.
That's a lot of human.
And it's just... It's pretty much torture. I'm not going to get into my whole rant about the prison system, but like, it's pretty much torture. They would send them out to just like the movie Holes. They would just like go send them out to dig and not for anything. Yeah. Just so they would just dig. Now, sometimes they would dig and do work and plant a garden for the prison. So where they grew their own food and stuff. And that I can get that behind that. That's cool. Yeah. But no, sometimes if they didn't have anything for them to do, they just go make them do work for the sake of work.
That's not cool, man. I mean, I can understand the garden aspect. I totally get. If it's like, okay, dig a hole, put a seed, take care of the damn garden.
Yeah. And you're taking care of yourself in a way because
that
you're
gives
helping
you something
grow
to do.
The garden.
Yeah. That's going to help your sanity. I mean, Jesus Christ, I couldn't imagine how valuable something as being a gardener in prison would be, because how much of your time is taken up on that? A shitload. And then when you get out, you actually have a skill. You could go into landscaping and genuinely make money and support yourself and not have to go back to crime and reoffend.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we could talk about this.
Well, my brother didn't get that memo, but you're absolutely right.
Well, we all make mistakes, and that's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing about life, and unfortunately, some mistakes that certain people make, not everybody, but we all make mistakes. It's just certain people get caught up, and the ones that they make, they wind up on the wrong end of a cell. And the only thing a person can
and you don't get a lot of help.
No,
once you're in there, like they're not counseling you. They're not trying to help you really be better. They just shoving you somewhere for you to wait out your time, and then you go home.
Yeah, I talked to a prisoner before who was in prison for 32 years. 32 years.
Jesus.
And when he got out, he wasn't rehabilitated at all. Now, he didn't go back to crime.
No.
But he told me a very chilling statement. He said, "I died in prison. And when I came out of prison, that's when I was born again." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, when you go to prison, you're just a thought. The world goes on.
Yeah.
Everybody moves on, but you're still there. You're a ghost." And it freaked me out. I went, wow.
Yeah.
That's a terrifying reality to live through. And that motherfucker did it for 32 years. I could only imagine. Like, holy
that's
shit.
crazy. Now, granted, my brother, he was 38 when he passed away.
Poor
he was pretty much in and out of prison. So he would go about 2-3 years of prison, be out for a year, go back to prison. He was just reoffended a lot. And
poor guy.
Like, that was his whole life. Basically, he was in juvie a lot
so
when
he was
a young man. He was a convict. And you don't get a chance to change when that's all you know.
No, because after a certain point in time, there's a reason for people who aren't aware, there's a reason why I think Tebe and I would both differentiate an inmate from a convict. An inmate is somebody who gets caught up and goes to jail or goes to prison. A convict is a lifetime reoffender. They're in and out.
Yep.
They're a convict. It's what they do. And there's a scary reality that happens to some guys and women who offend and keep going back, is that they can't function in the outside world anymore. They're more comfortable behind bars because they understand that ecosystem better than being out in the free world. Because the free world, some people just lose their fucking mind. There's all this temptation. There's all this. It's so easy to fall back into old habits when you're locked up in the joint. When you behind some walls, or you in gladiator school, you there. You just there. You got your square meals a day. You know where your commissary at. You know when your visitation at. You know what you're gonna wear. You know where your shower's at. You know what you got to do. You understand your economy in that system. When you out in the world, you're on your own, and that could be a lot for some people who've been institutionalized. I knew a dude who was institutionalized. This motherfucker still had a clear plastic tub for all his belongings. He still bought his hygiene products in bulk because it was just drilled into his brain.
My brother used to, when he stayed with us for a little while, he used to do ramen packets, but the noodles with mustard on them, dry. And he would eat those, just crunch, 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 eat them. And I was like, why? And he said, because you get sick of the same flavor all the time.
Oh, yeah.
With ramen, in jail. And so he started putting mustard on them in jail just to give him something different to eat. And he continued to do that once he was out.
Oh, they did him bad. They ain't even give a motherfucker a choice between chicken or beef. What the fuck, man?
Yeah. Arkansas prisons aren't really great. I don't imagine any prison's great, but I don't know. It's just such a low income area. I can't imagine the prisons get a lot of funding here just from the amount of poverty that's here. And I just think it's really rough on people when they go around here, go to the jails.
It can't be any good. I mean, there's no way in any universe that jail or prison is going to be that good, be it food, be it housing situation, be it programs an inmate or a convict could do to rehabilitate themselves to get back into the workforce when they get out. I mean, they do GED programs and they got like drug counseling classes and shit, but you in prison. Half of the shit you talking about you never gonna do, you could buy on the yard. You could just buy it.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I know you're not allowed cigarettes.
As much drugs in prison.
Yeah, that's some shit. I know for a motherfucker fact that dudes got cell phones in prison. Dudes got cigarettes, they got weed, they got cocaine, they got bro, you get everything. Look, it's easier, objectively, it's easier to get drugs in prison than it is in the free world. It is just easier. You don't even got to leave your rack. You could just, you could just like talk to you could just hit your bunk. Hey, Sally. Yeah, you want to get some weed? Yeah, go see what Spider doing, because you ain't going to use people's real names. Go see what Tex is doing. Oh yeah, go see what school doing. Which one? Oh yeah, the one in the wheelchair with the wonky eye. Oh yeah, him? Yeah, go get a cap. Go get a cap for $5. Who got it? You got the noodles for it? Yeah, I got the noodles. I'm gonna give him two little Debbie's too for it on fucking front. That's just, and for anybody who doesn't know what I just said, that is the exact lingo, and they might use different words, but that's the lingo, the general pretense of how something like that would actually go down. I mean, it's that simple. And what they'll come back with, you'll give them the little money or whatever commissary or canteen supplies that they want. So everybody's different. They'll come back with a chapstick cap full of weed. And everybody might be thinking, well, Jay, that's not a lot of weed. You got to understand, you ain't smoking weed like you would on the outside. What they'll do is they'll roll in a joint. They'll find like an empty tampon thing and like use the paper to roll it up. Or they'll use like, what is it? A lot of them use Bibles. They'll tear a piece out the Bible and roll that bitch up because it's thin paper. And they'll cut it into clips. And then they'll take a can and then they'll make a ghetto ass lighter. Like I've seen dudes, I've heard stories and seen dudes who got out of prison make a lighter out of 2 razor blades and a fucking battery and light a cigarette off it. I went, how the fuck these dudes are smart?
You get really inventive. In prison. Like the things my brother would tell me he did, I'm just like, Tay, how are you this smart, but yet you keep up back in prison?
Right. Don't you just want to grab them sometimes and go, if you apply,
shake them.
Yeah, if you applied 10% of that genius you did in there to the world, you would be cool. You'd be all right. I don't know how you ain't doing it. Like, that's crazy, man. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus
don't do drugs,
Christ.
kids.
No, don't do drugs unless it's like creatine or protein powder or pre-workout. And even then, stay away from pre-workout. It's kind of a gimmick. Don't get me started on the fitness thing. Oh my God, I'll go on that all day. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. But you know what, Tay? I'm really happy that we had the opportunity to fucking sit down and talk today. I really am. We got to talk about Mortician's Assistant, a little bit about you and just your background and how you came to this. And look, Mortician's Assistant is going to be dope. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm really happy about it. I know you're really happy about it. It's real close to the chest. And like, just, I can't wait for updates. It's
very satisfying because it's done now. Like it's done. I have to make a few little edits, but it's done. And I did that and I've never done that before. So I know I can say I can't say I wrote a novel, but I can say I wrote a comic script, so that's an accomplishment.
It is an accomplishment, and it's a big one because we talked about this earlier. You took it from concept to now it's become real. Now it's real. Now you have an artist working on it. Now you have voice actors filling in the dialogue, and now it's going to go from just something that you had an idea of to something that's finished that you're going to send it to your school for your thesis. And then you're going to publish it, be it finding a publisher or self-publishing. This is happening, and it's got to feel fucking incredible to actually look back.
It's a little scary, but it feels good.
Oh, we're all scared. Life is scary. Love is scary. We got to deal with it.
That's great though. Like, yeah, we got to deal with it. You can be scared, but you still got to keep going. Got to keep doing it. I'm scared it won't be a success. We're all scared that we're not going to succeed, but if you don't keep doing it, then you won't succeed.
Even if Mortician's Assistant doesn't succeed in the way you envisioned it, the lessons you are going to take for it are absolutely going to benefit you moving forward into your next project. There is
That's
millions,
a great way to look at it.
But it's the truth. It's not just the way to look at it. It's the truth. Now, it's an opinion, obviously, but I have been on. No,
it's the truth. You said it was the truth.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes.
So it has to be true.
That's right. Everything I say is true. Even the lies. What? Jay, the lies? Especially the lies, my darling. Especially the lies. But no, it's just one of those things where I've been a part of stuff that Like I've been making music forever, since 2004. Longtime listeners and friends of the show know this. I've been making music forever. I still release songs occasionally when I have the time to sit down in the studio and make one. And I've had songs that I thought were going to be fucking amazing, bombed like nobody's business. But I was happy that I made it because it taught me something about my own voice in music and what I wanted to do and what I look back on and like what I could have done better. Mortician's Assistant, just like other projects that you've been involved with, stuff you started and stopped. This one you're doing to completion. This is going to teach you more about what direction you want to head in than anything else. And then maybe you'll come up with a different inspiration for something different and you'll continue on with that. Either way, it's going to benefit you. So in no way is any of it a negative. It's all been a positive thing. Look at how many people you brought together just making this. Look how much change you've affected just by making a thought a reality.
I've made so many friends. I've made so many new friends.
You have.
It's great.
You absolutely have.
I've built a community.
That's the important part. That's the important part. Now you're building a Rolodex of people who are your friends that now it's a connection. You can contact them again and go, hey, I got an idea. Do you want to work on it? And they'll be like, yeah, let's do it. And then you're off to the races again. And that's the exciting part.
I was working with another artist.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was working with another artist before, and he was amazing. He did an amazing job. But it wasn't that me and him didn't click. It was just that I worried that he didn't get the characters to the level that Alba was getting my vision, because one, we're both girls. We're both a little thirsty, you know. We knew
a little.
We both like Ian, like, you know. And she was like, I know exactly how I want to make him look. I know his look. I can take what you drew as your concept art, and I'm going to make him sexy. And I was like, she gets it. And so it's just so important to meet the people who get it, to work with them. But
that's important. And that even goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where you have to find the right people for the job. It's not
absolutely.
It's not being disparaging on another person's ability or even their work ethic or the quality of the stuff they produce. It has nothing to do with that. You just have to find the people that best fit. And that's something, before we get out of here for today, because I've had you on here for almost 2 hours. This is something I can relate to voice acting as well. If you don't get a part, do not take it personally. You can't. Because they're looking for what fits. They're looking for that person that fits the character they had envisioned. They have to fit the project. Objectively, you could have been the better actor and still not gotten the part. Because for whatever reason, whatever you brought to the table didn't match the way they envisioned, that they found another actor or actress who did fit it. So you can't take it personally. And that's something I will say, because when you start out, if you could get excited because you've gotten shortlisted for a bunch of stuff recently, you were telling me, congratulations, that's fucking awesome. You made it one step further than a lot of people do. No, babe, of course. But you got to understand that if you don't get it, it's okay. It's not a slight on you. It just means understand you didn't get it, move on to the next project. That's all. That's all. And keep practicing. YouTube is a great source. YouTube is a great source for techniques, and I'll send you some stuff if you want me to about voice acting. Yeah, no problem. No problem. There's millions of ways to do voice.
To agree with your point, I dismissed a lot of amazing actors. A lot of amazing actors.
And it had nothing to do with their ability.
Guilty. Yeah, I felt guilty because they were all so good. And I just had to, right now I have a character that I have so many good auditions for. I'm pulling my hair out. I don't know who to pick. So it definitely has nothing to do with your ability. No. 97% of the time.
I've done casting direction before. And what I discovered in my experience with it is when I have a tough decision to make, I run and say you're down to your final top 10 or whatever. You go back, you listen to them. If you need to take a break, whatever, it's a time consuming process. Go back and close your eyes and listen to those goddamn auditions. And the one that makes you go, that's it. That's the one you choose. where you don't have to question
Absolutely.
it. The one where you don't have to question it, where you know that's the voice. That's the one you got to choose because that's what you had envisioned in your head. That's what's in your soul. So you got to use that one. Now, I'm not saying my advice is gospel, which it is. So fucking listen to me, you culty bitches. Fucking love you. But I think it's a good benchmarker to use, like a good reference point to where follow your instincts. Don't overthink it. Because sometimes you might overthink something. And I've been guilty of this 100%. I've absolutely overthought stuff. And then I went back and I went, okay, let me take one other listen to this. And I remember sitting in with my co-creator and we spent about 2-3 hours going through auditions and dismissing the ones we didn't think were going to work and then shortlisting the ones that did. I remember I did a project that I'm still working on called, I can't talk about it. Never mind. It's not publicly out there yet. I have an animation.
The project.
Yes, the project that I'm working on with my good friend, Matthew, AKA Fleets. Shout out to my boy Fleets. Love you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And we would sit through Fleets. Shout out to the Fleets monkey. We were, he listens to the show too, because he's going to go, what the fuck? He's going to be doing whatever. He'll just perk his head up and go, Jay, what are you doing, dude? We would listen and I think we got over like 500 submissions. And we're going, oh my fucking God, like what the fuck? And we're just sitting through all of them and going over and over and over. And at a point we had to stop because it was a lot and we had to take a break and we just talked about whatever else and we went back to it. So just don't overthink it. And this is if you're casting or if you're doing auditions yourself, just work on the craft and keep doing it. If you spend enough time, because we suck at everything when we first start something. The only way to get better is by doing. Just keep doing it, keep practicing. And even if you get discouraged, it's okay to put it down. Just don't quit. Just don't quit. Just keep going. Today's going to end. And yes, nobody's promised tomorrow, but we'll wake up tomorrow. Don't worry about it. But you'll wake up tomorrow and you'll be a different person. You'll be more experienced in voice acting, just like you are in art and writing. Keep going forward. And I say that to you, and I say that to anybody out there who listens, who has aspirations, not inspirations, who has aspirations of becoming an actor or becoming a voiceover talent. Look, I've been in a shitload of stuff. I'm not famous at all, and I don't care. It's not about that. It's not about the fame or anything like that. It's not even about money in a lot of ways. Yes, it's about money because you got to pay your bills, but it's about
you got to make money.
you got to make money. Yes, it's partially about that,
one way or another.
One way or another. Even if I gotta go be a hood rat on OnlyFans. Subscribe to my OnlyFans,
Hell yeah.
everybody. Yeah, let's go do it. Let's go. I'll go post hand pictures and get everybody fucking rotten with envy. Have you all dripping like a faucet. It's just.
I love you, Jay.
I love you too, Tay. We are going to get in horrible, horrible trouble together throughout our tenure working together. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it's going to be
I wouldn't want to
awesome.
hang out with you if I wouldn't get in a little trouble. Like, life's too boring not to.
Dude, it's okay. The trouble we get into will not result in us going to jail. Maybe. As I say that,
Possibly.
maybe
Like, stay for yourself, my guy.
Yeah, but like you're.
I have goals.
Oh, your goal is to go to jail from hanging out with me.
When I'm
okay.
old. When I'm old. Yeah.
Okay. I understand. I understand where this is going now. Okay. Well, I guess I got to schedule a fucking flight. Jesus God. Okay. Yeah. I guess I get to visit in Arkansas jail. Oh, okay. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I hope they have hot food, please. Jesus Christ.
They don't.
They don't.
The food sucks there.
What the fuck? Just the way you answered it was so immediate. Just they don't, Jay. They don't. Don't even sandwiches and gruel for you, Korean boy. There we go. I'm all for it. Fuck. God, that's gonna suck. Whatever. It's worth it. I got to hang out with my homegirl. It's cool. But Tay, thank you very much for giving me oh my God, way more time than I was originally going to keep you here for. I really do appreciate it.
I knew we were going to talk a while.
I knew we were too, but that's why I said it for an hour and anything else is extra. It's the sizzle on the steak.
Hell yeah.
Sizzle steak. That actually sounds really good. I don't know why. But either way.
Oh my God, it does. I'm so hungry.
Right? I am too. I actually am too. I probably should fucking eat, but I'll fucking get to it after I'm done piecing this fucking podcast together and doing all this shit. But we're going to get out of here, people. Tay, thank you very much, my darling, for coming on. And I will have you back on again because I need updates about Mortician's assistant and other things. And dude, I got to talk to you after the show because we got good fucking banter. And I got suspicious ideas in my brain. So I'm gonna run those by you. I'm definitely going to run them by you.
Okay.
Yes. Excellent. But
well,
everybody,
it was my absolute pleasure.
It was your absolute pleasure to
hang out with Jay.
There it is. There it is. Lovely. Like it. Thank you very much, Tay. And everybody, this concludes your broadcast day with Phrasing with Jay. Now get out there and go do what you're passionate about. Turn your dreams into like a goal because then you'll actually do it. Okay, bye. Love you.